right, someone's getting a lightsabering now. Oh, it's just a flashlight. I guess my lightsaber's in the camping supplies.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at TV episodes that reference, spoof, or pay homage to George Lucas's epic space opera.
All right, nobody leave, unless you want to go through life as a rug.
Number 20, When Aliens Attack, Futurama.
If we can hit that bullseye, the rest of the dominoes will fall like a house of cards. Checkmate.
Star Wars takes place a long time ago, yet for some reason, everything looks futuristic. As such, it was inevitable that Futurama would parody the franchise more than once. While this alien invasion episode also works in references to Independence Day and Star Trek, Star Wars inspires the episode's highlight. Just as Luke Skywalker's journey begins on Tatooine, our heroes go from a day at the beach to joining a rebellion. An alien mothership is the Death Star in an action set piece that recreates the Battle of Scarif.
The auxiliary power's out, and they spilled my cocktail!
Alright, scumwads. This one's for Bender's cocktail.
Unlike Luke, the Force isn't strong with the Planet Express crew, but this invasion is settled in court. Hey, an episode that combines Star Wars and Ally McBeal is doing something right in our book.
We are reasonably satisfied with the events we have seen. Overall, I would rate it a C+. Okay? Not great.
Number 19, DeathCon 2001, Celebrity Deathmatch.
You, no stunt doubles, and you, watch the language or a Royale with cheese, you the hell out of here!
Airing between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, Celebrity Deathmatch took the fight to a convention center for a sci-fi themed episode. The main event pits Harrison Ford against Samuel L. Jackson for Star Wars supremacy. George Lucas is enlisted as a guest referee, but the Star Wars creator doesn't make it to the showdown, getting caught in a trash compactor. Spoiler alert, the trash compactor wins. The central brawl is full of brutal moments, although nothing is more painful than hearing Ford call Jackson Lando.
You'll pay for that, Lando! Lando? Look out! Harrison Ford has obviously crossed into some dangerous territory.
Ford might be a few years Jackson's senior, but Jackson has a reputation for dying on screen. Deathmatch is no exception, as Ford emerges victorious with his carpentry skills.
I think he's going for the power saw!
Number 18, Star Cooper, The Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
I couldn't have done it without that little snack you fixed, Obi-Wan Toady, or without the help of my fearless friends. I guess you could say the pasta was with us.
The Super Mario Galaxy games are great, but why wasn't there a Star Cooper level? Well, this episode will have to do. Since A New Hope centers on saving a princess, it wasn't hard to connect the dots here. Now a Sith Lord, Cooper is again after Princess Toadstool, and determined to destroy her home world. The Star Wars parallels paved the way for the show's signature pasta puns, like Pasta Power and May the Pasta Be With You. Because, you know, Mario's Italian, get it?
Remember, may the pasta be with you.
All right.
Being a plumber, Mario thankfully knows his way around a garbage disposal, and he's a surprisingly good pilot too. Plus, the episode's live-action segments revolve around Christmas, so if you're looking for something else to pair with the Star Wars holiday special, this is the marinara to your spaghetti.
Hey, Luigi, throw another one of those chip plates on the table, and tighten up your belt. We got company.
Number 17, Falling Stars, Rugrats.
The Space Babies gotta do what a Space Babies gotta do.
It's called Star Wars, but the stars themselves don't really factor into the plot. They do in this episode of Rugrats, however. Wishing upon a star, the babies fear one will literally fall and crush them. Letting their imaginations run wild, the playground provides a Star Wars-esque backdrop with Angelica turning to the dark slide.
I'm the big space boss, and I want the stars to fall.
Angelica naturally fills the Darth Vader role, although nothing happens to the younglings in this version. Yeah, we know, too soon, right? The episode builds to a duel between good and evil, which are sometimes more closely related than you think. After all, Angelica is Tommy's cousin. Angelica may fight with a flashlight, but she's seduced by the dark side, falling to her doom just like the Emperor. Kind of.
Uncle Stu, I fell.
Number 16, Hanukkah Solo, The Goldbergs.
If
After I watched that Star Wars special, I've been reevaluating all the things I loved as a child.
Don't do that.
All the movies I worship have come into question.
There comes a time in every fan's life when they realise not everything Star Wars related is perfect, or even good. For some, this awakening came with the prequels. For others, it was the sequels. For Adam Goldberg, it was a bootleg of the Star Wars holiday special.
I mean, I even heard rumor we meet Chewie's family.
Chewie, the guy who works in my stock room?
Hoping to recapture his grandson's childhood wonder, Pops takes him to see George Lucas's latest project, Howard the Duck. This just sends Adam into a deeper depression, but there is a light at the end of this dark tunnel. For all of its faults, the Star Wars Holiday Special was technically Boba Fett's debut, and he was easily the best part. No offense to B. Arthur. With this revelation comes a new hope for Adam's inner child.
Okay, I admit it was an odd choice to have B. Arthur manage the cantina. Let's just move on.
Number 15, Adam Driver / Chris Stapleton, Saturday Night Live.
I have a bombshell announcement to make, guys. I'm not Matt. I'm
Kylo Ren. You're Kylo Ren.
A month after The Force Awakens premiered, Adam Driver hosted SNL. While Driver showcased his comedic range with a variety of characters, Star Wars was the ortolan in the room that couldn't go ignored. Right off the bat, Driver finds himself bombarded with fan inquiries from Taron Killam and Bobby Moynihan. Driver actually spoils the fact that Kylo Ren dies, although we guess Rise of Skywalker dropped the Weekend at Bernie's twist.
Alright, fine, I die.
Oh, no.
But my friends put sunglasses on me and I pretend I'm alive all weekend.
Oh my god, it's perfect!
Kylo Ren takes center stage in Star Wars undercover boss Starkiller Base. It's Driver's chance to show his goofy side, and yet he still plays Kylo Ren, or Matt, with committed intensity.
Rule everything? That's impressive. I admire the guy.
Yes, exactly.
Weirdly enough, this sketch also foreshadows Kylo Ren going shirtless in The Last Jedi. Was Disney just stealing ideas from SNL?
A buddy of mine saw Kylo Ren take his shirt off in the shower, and he said that Kylo Ren had an 8-pack. But Kylo Ren was shredded.
Number 14, Gonzo's video show, Muppet Babies.
Hang on, you guys. We're about to make the jump to light speed. Here goes. Ouch!
We've all fantasized about being in the Star Wars universe. If you grew up with a video camera, chances are you even tried making a shot-for-shot remake of A New Hope. Muppet Babies captured that sense of imagination and movie magic with this episode. What makes this Star Wars themed episode stand out is that it incorporates footage and sound effects from the actual film. It certainly didn't hurt that Jim Henson was friends with George Lucas. At the same time, the episode has a handmade feel, with the babies using notebook paper for the opening crawl. It maintains the Muppet spirit though, complete with meta moments and in-jokes. I mean, we can't be the only ones who thought R2-D2 looked like a trash can.
I want Kermit Skyhopper, my Jedi frog in shining armor.
But that isn't the way the movie goes.
It is now, you dumb droid.
Number 13, a Quack and the Quirks, Tiny Toon Adventures.
Let the Force be your umbrella.
Only 2 episodes in, the Tiny Toons writers establish their knack for parody with a Star Wars send-up. It opens with Plucky befriending 2 alien ducks named Frank and Ollie, a reference that'll certainly appeal to Disney fans. This was over 2 decades before the acquisition, by the way. Mistaking Plucky for Earth's greatest hero, Frank and Ollie recruit him to stop the evil Duck Vader.
Must be foreign exchange students. Maybe France.
We apologize for tricking you, Plucky.
But you're our only hope.
We suppose you could call this Galaxy Quest before Galaxy Quest, even if that movie satirized Star Trek. Of course, Star Wars is the main target here, with Plucky as Luke, Buster as Han, Babs as Leia, and Hampton as R2-D2. Thus ensues an adventure involving spaceships, lasers, and stormtroopers, who live up to their names.
You know, I've always been curious. How come they call you fellas stormtroopers? I had to ask.
Number 12, The Convention Conundrum, The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, James, I could listen to your stories all night.
Star Wars was regularly discussed on The Big Bang Theory, but only one episode brought 2 of its stars together. Looking to start his own convention, Sheldon seeks out Darth Vader himself, James L. Jones. So, we all know the drill. Sheldon fanboys out and Jones gets annoyed, right? In a refreshing change of pace, Jones is somehow more eccentric and exhausting than Sheldon, dragging him along for an unpredictable night on the town.
I have one thing to say to people like you. I like Star Wars too. Care to join me?
After ice cream and karaoke, the evening takes them to the house of Carrie Fisher, who Jones supposedly had never met before this episode's taping. It's bittersweet knowing that Fisher and Jones wouldn't be with us much longer, but we're grateful the stars aligned with this episode.
Ah, Sheldon, this is the perfect end to a perfect night.
Okay.
Number 11, Obama wins, South Park.
Pretty neat, huh? How would you like to have one?
I can get those at Kmart.
Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm was such headline-making news at the tail end of 2012 that it arguably overshadowed Barack Obama's re-election. South Park combined these two zeitgeist events as the boys uncover a conspiracy that also ropes in China and Morgan Freeman.
Just one thing, Morgan Freeman. How come every time something convoluted needs explaining, you show up?
Because every time I show up and explain something, I earn a freckle.
The episode has aged quite well, foreshadowing how Disney would produce Star Wars sequels and integrate the brand into their theme parks. Furthermore, the episode questioned whether Disney would really be the best choice to take control of this beloved franchise. This question was still top of people's mind 4 years later, when another election was underway and many were wrestling with the notion that The Force Awakens might have been overhyped. It's strange how Star Wars always reflects the state of the nation.
It turns out the only reason the Chinese so desperately wanted Star Wars is because they're afraid that Disney might not be the right place for it.
Number 10, My Two Dads, Scrubs.
Good versus bad, right versus wrong, the dark side versus the light.
Two key themes throughout Star Wars are the struggle between good and evil and the bonds between fathers and sons, mentors and mentees. The same thing can be said about Scrubs, with Dr. Cox acting as a rebel soldier and Dr. Kelso taking the place of an Imperial officer.
It's about what's best for the hospital.
It's about what's best for the patient.
Stuck in the middle of their conflict in this Season 1 episode is young JD, who must choose between the light side and the dark side. The young doctor finally makes his choice in one of his many over-the-top fantasies, although Dr. Cox shows him that doing the right thing also means making sacrifices.
You're suspended. Effective immediately.
Number 9, Star Warner's Pinky and the Brain.
What's this?
Big melody disc. Big comedy pop.
Faboo!
A spin-off of Animaniacs, this series spent 4 seasons parodying movies and pop culture just like its parent series. And in the show's final episode, they brought out the big guns, or blasters as the case may be. In just 22 minutes, Star Warners satirizes the entire Star Wars trilogy. Along the way, the Warners, Goodfeathers, Slappy Squirrel, and other familiar faces lampoon all the characters we know and love.
Yak Soho, Space Ace, reporting for duty. This is my co-pilot, Chew Boo Boo.
Of course, Pinky and the Brain are also there as 3PINKio and Brain 2 Me Too, in a plot to take over not only the world, but the whole galaxy.
I have the plans to the megastar. Once inside, we will seize control and rule the galaxy.
Number 8, Please Homer, Don't Hammer 'Em, The Simpsons.
Report to detention at once.
I'm not a big fan of detention. You might say it drives me nuts.
My allergen!
At some point, every schoolboy has likely pictured himself as Luke Skywalker, and his principal as Darth Vader. In one storyline of this Simpsons episode, it appears that Bart has finally, in Season 18, gained control over Principal Skinner when he learns of his enemy's peanut allergy. Skinner strikes back, however, upon learning Bart has an equally deadly aversion to shrimp. Set to John Williams' epic musical score, the student and teacher clash in a lightsaber-style duel, and the result for both is every bit as tragic as Anakin Skywalker's fate. Well, maybe not quite. If only Mark Hamill had been in this episode to show them how to use the forks.
I was El Barto.
No!
Number 7, Love Bites, The Venture Brothers.
I have a sister? Named Dawn? How long have you been keeping this from me?
Team Venture comes close to winning Best Group Costume with Dean in Princess Leia's gold bikini, Dr. Venture in a Jedi cloak, and Brock in a hairy Chewbacca getup. But Hank has to go and screw it up by dressing up as the Batman. This becomes the least of their problems, however, when Baron Underbite kidnaps Dean and plans to make him his bride.
Hopelessness is the greatest aphrodisiac in Wonderland.
Thus, the Ventures partner up with a group of underground rebels to save the princess while cleverly and dementedly making fun of Star Wars.
I'm so excited I can hardly sleep. She's just so unlike the others, such spunk.
Number 6. The stars of Star Wars, The Muppet Show.
Remember Alderaan! Officers upstairs! 3PO, you cover that exit!
The same year, Frank Oz voiced Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2 and C-3PO hosted this episode of The Muppet Show. Completely dazed by the strange planet they've landed on, the stars of Star Wars commandeer the Swine Trek to rescue Chewbacca. The episode also features Gonzo the Great as Darth Vader, Miss Piggy as Princess Leia, C-3PO tap dancing, and Luke performing alongside his cousin, Mark Hamill.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Hamill.
Even over 30 years after it aired, this bizarre crossover is still awesome and hilarious to watch, and not nearly as uncomfortable as the Star Wars Holiday Special. Number 5. A New Hope, That 70s Show.
You'll pay for this, Foreman. Before I leave, Donna will be mine.
Kids today can only imagine what it was like to see Star Wars when it first came out. In this Season 1 episode of That 70s Show, Eric and his band of rebels experience the phenomenon in the theatre. All the guys are immediately obsessed, even if the film doesn't have any space jugs.
Are you even listening to me?
What? Yes. You were saying, may the Force be with me?
The Star Wars theme further ties into the story as Eric worries Donna will turn to the dark side and dump him for a guy with scoliosis he beat up in elementary school. Costumed dreams ensue. Number 4. Phineas and Ferb Star Wars, Phineas and Ferb.
It's a Sithinator, it's a really cool machine. My evil will be greater than Darth Vader's ever been, you ask.
When Disney acquired the rights to Star Wars, the creators of Phineas and Ferb jumped at the opportunity to parody A New Hope, and they delivered one of the most unique Star Wars send-ups ever, making Phineas and Ferb Luke Skywalker's neighbours and telling the classic story from their perspective.
Pod racing engines, how'd you hook these up?
We just picked up some power converters at Tashi Station.
Nice.
It's one great laugh after another, with Perry the Platypus as a rebel spy, Candace as a stormtrooper trying to bust rebels, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz as the Sith Lord who gave the Death Star a fatal design flaw. Ah, if only this were canon.
My timeshare on Alderaan is worth like 10 times more than I paid for it 6 years ago. Oh, I knew the value would go up. It's such a peaceful place. People like to pay.
Number 3. For a few paintballs more, Community.
Well, I'm out. We lost.
No show satirizes movies, television, and pretty much anything better than Community. In For a Few Paintballs More, Dan Harmon finally paid tribute to Star Wars, as well as the spaghetti westerns that inspired the epic space opera. With Abed channeling Han Solo and an ice cream mascot assuming the Darth Vader role, it's an all-out paintball war to save Greendale from the wrath of the rival City College.
Eat, you stormtrooping City College knob gobblers! You're it, kid.
Brilliantly directed by Joe Russo, ingeniously written by Hilary Winston, and wonderfully acted by the whole cast, this cinematic episode is the very definition of epic comedy. Number 2. Robot Chicken Star Wars, Robot Chicken.
It's almost open. Hold on to this.
The early seasons of Robot Chicken referenced Star Wars so many times that a whole episode dedicated to the franchise was inevitable. Seth Green and crew explore many scenarios one would never think of, like how did the Emperor react when Darth Vader told him the Death Star exploded?
Whoa, just slow down. Huh? What do you mean they blew up the Death Star?
Both compiling previous Star Wars shorts and offering several new ones, this Emmy-nominated special is Robot Chicken at its best, with just the right blend of smart and lowbrow humour. And in true Star Wars fashion, the episode even inspired a trilogy.
What was that? I said, your mama's so fat, Jabba the Hutt said, damn!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Blue Harvest, Family Guy.
Thank you, we're the Cantina Band. If you have any requests, shout them out. Play that same song. All right, same song. Here we go.
Not since Spaceballs has there been a more detailed, well thought out and loving take on Star Wars than this masterful episode of Family Guy. Packed wall to wall or galaxy to galaxy with jokes, the season 6 premiere Blue Harvest couldn't be more perfectly cast, with Stewie as Darth Vader, Herbert as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Meg as the garbage monster. Sure, Robot Chicken might have done this first, but Family Guy did it even better.
All right, strap yourselves in. I'm about to make the jump to light speed.
Did he say strap in or strap on?
Throw in the equally hilarious follow-up episodes, Something 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 Dark Side, and It's a Trap, and you have a trilogy that will have any fuzzball laughing it up.
Red October standing by.
Helen Reddy standing by.
Simply Red standing by.
So, what show would you like to see dedicate an episode to Star Wars? Let us know in the comments.
I'm on a Ferris wheel with Darth Vader. And he's nicer than you think.